Oh, come on!
Don't mess with the bets!
Oh, come on, Scott, you know that last round was crap!
We agreed that whoever won would get the last nutty bar, and that we would settle it in Smash.
Oh, I'll settle something with a smash! Hold on just 1 second. What the frick are you doing?
I'm setting the mood.
What, for us to fight?
No, for you to make the top 10 rocks in video games.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
A couple months ago, I made a video called The Top 10 Cats in Video Games. In that video, I mentioned that I had some nitrous at a dentist and had some strange ideas to base some top 10 on, and ultimately I was only able to use the top 10 cats. Another idea I had was the top 10 rocks, but I was thinking recently about rocks in video games and I realized rocks can actually play a significant role in games. So why not make a top 10 for them? I can't think of any, so here's the title card. Hello, YouTube, and welcome to Heemin's Top 10 Rocks in Video Games! An opinion piece. Before any top 10, I need to set up the rules on what constitutes a rock. Now, I'm going to be very loose in keeping the rules, mainly because the idea of this was conceived under the influence of a drug, but the dictionary definition is good enough for me. A large piece of rock that has become detached from a cliff or mountain. A boulder. Second rule, one per series. Got it? Good. Number 10! So let's pretend I walk up to you and say, hey, Clarence, do you mind if I call you Clarence? Okay, Clarence, I'm making a top 10 for rocks in video games. Tell me, what's the first thing that pops in your mind? If you're anything like all the people I ask, or even myself, the first thing you would think of is Pokemon. They got rocks that make you evolve, rocks that make you hit stronger, rocks with faces. Heck, we even have rocks that promote racist ideals. There are tons of choices, so I'm going to choose the rock that stands out the most for me, which is going to be the Icy Rock. Why? Well, first, let me pose a question to you. If you could touch anything in video games, what would you touch? I think I know what we're all thinking. Ivy Valentine, right below her neck, on her cravat. Or heck, even Mile Edgeworth Severian. I just want to touch a cravat.
That's because he was courted on the port side.
Oh!
Scott! There's the ruffian! The ruffian who tried to grasp my cravat at the previous dinner affair! Seize him!
No! No! I want to touch the cravat! No! I want to!
Anyway, the second thing I'd want to touch is the Icy Rock in Pokemon because of its artful description. It is a rock completely covered in ice. Touching it would make you freeze. Although I don't want to freeze, it just sounds so smooth. Also, if you have an Eevee and you take it to this rock, you'll level up and get yourself a Glaceon. And I love me some Eeveelutions, even if Glaceon is one of the worser ones. Worser? Worst. Worse? I don't know. Man, you just gotta love Thwomp. He is a great enemy. Simple yet effective. I mean, these things have been in nearly 60 games since Super Mario Bros. 3. That's an amazing feat that not many video game characters can claim. Since then, he's gotten several kills, helped several people take the lead in Mario Kart games, and crushed several dreams and bodies in Mario Party games. He's simply smashing. Now here's a game I've never had an opportunity to talk about on the station. Harvest Moon. I used to love this series. Emphasis on the used to. In my opinion, they haven't made a great Harvest Moon game since Harvest Moon DS, but I still pick up the annual iterations, hoping that we'll get a good one. Speaking of Harvest Moon DS, the number 8 pick is going to be Stones. Now, Harvest Moon DS is a portable remake of A Wonderful Life for the GameCube, which had enough tweaks to make it almost a completely different game. But one of the big changes, and not just from A Wonderful Life, but the series as a whole, is the lack of a barn or a coop to keep your animals in. Usually these commodities are just on your land from the start, but in Harvest Moon DS, you have to build them, or more specifically, you have to gather up the resources and then have Gots the woodcutter build them for you. Now there's 3 choices you have to build it from, and it mimics the 3 little pigs. You can build it from straw, which can collapse on a sunny day. You can build it from wood, which is more cost effective, but hurricanes still have a chance of knocking them over. But I always go with stone, because I ain't having old Bessie carried away in no gale force winds. Not again.
Bessie! Bessie, no! Come back! Come back, Bessie!
I'm sorry, Chet. I must go. My people need me.
going to miss you too, kid.
Kirby's down B move in Smash. There's not much to say about Kirby's down B move, except it's one of the best moves in Smash, at least amongst me and my filthy casual friends. You fly up and then you come down quickly for a lot of damage and launch potential. You got Stone Kirby, Spike Ball Kirby, Unsettling Kirby, and even Thwomp Kirby. Oh, hey, that's nice. In addition to being a great attack move, it is also a superb defensive move. It's immune to basically frickin' everything. If you're having a tough time getting to the Smash Fortress, just grab a Kirby or two and give the aerial drop rock attack to this nasty swarm of thieves. So far, we've seen rocks that can freeze, build, hurt, but the next stone can turn its user into a steel-skinned, fire-breathing dragon. I love me some Fire Emblem, and I love the 3 Manatiques who can turn into dragon. Imagine some thug coming over to crack some poor girl's head open with an axe, only to have his body engulfed in flame by a dragon. That's exactly what happens in Fire Emblem, like all the time. It's great. The best part is that the 3 characters who can turn into dragons often threaten to gobble up or incinerate characters that annoy them in the support conversations. And what? Come now, Laurent. Spit it out. What? You're lying again. I can smell it. No one can possibly be this dense. Well, there's only one thing for it. I'll turn into a dragon and go on a rampage until you shape up. I've already played with you once. Surely it's someone else's turn. Yeah, but the game is still going. Plus, no one can play Dad but you. And if you don't play with me, well, I guess I'll just have to. Put that dragon stone away, you little extortionist. You don't scare me. But wait, I didn't do it for my own personal gains, I swear! Such deceit only compounds your folly. Tiki, why are you pulling out that dragon stone? To teach you that deceiving an oracle bears a hefty price. Now still your lying tongue and prepare to be eaten. Ah, wait, you've got me all wrong! I'm donating the proceeds. Yeah, that's it, to charities! Here's another game that I absolutely adore, Left 4 Dead 2. Once you beat it on expert and realism, the only real way to play it is online versus. And the best part about that is when you get to play as the infected, or cooler yet, the tank, the massive hatred and muscle that can crush any squad he faces. Fun fact, did you know that without bullets, the damage from fire alone will kill a tank in 40 seconds? But the tank does have access to the 5th greatest rock in gaming, which is the Cinder Block.
Pesky humans keeping their distance from you? Why not send an express delivery package of a half-ton of concrete that way?
The reason it's on this list is not because it gives the tank more options, but because the tank can grab it from anywhere. There is a slate of concrete in the street, in shallow water, even the 6-inch floor of a helicopter has a 3x5 slab of concrete under it. Stone from the Ocarina of Time is awesome because it seems like a normal thing in the world of Zelda, and it gives you tips when you hit it with a sword. You hit a person with a sword, and you get your rights read to you. You hit a Seer Stone with a sword, and you get a tip on how to use bombs. Speaking of bombs, the true fun of the Seer Stone is seeing how it reacts to being hit with different weapons. The funnest, of course, being bombs.
Seer Stone, this is Hyrule. You are clear for takeoff. 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Hyrule, we have a problem.
Let's try that again outside.
Seer Stone, yada yada yada. 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
The Banner Saga is like XCOM, with Vikings. That's pretty much it. Outside of the combat, you walk along this path, and on the path you pass Godstones. And in the beginning of the game, your character is told that the gods are dead, but their statues are still there. And even though the gods are dead, you can still get cool in-battle equipment for making poor leadership decisions. We go to the fish god stone, and the people want to spend 3 days collecting scales. Who am I to ruin their fun? Who cares that we only have 3 days of food left? I want to be remembered as the fun wagon leader who let everybody starve to death, not the stick in the mud wagon leader who let everybody starve to death. And then, out of the gratitude, you get a scale shirt. At another godstone, we found a baby dredge, which are the scary automaton characters we've been fighting through the whole game. Should we leave it here, or find some women to raise it? Well, I want to be remembered as the kind and accepting wagon leader who let everybody starve to death. So let's keep it. Oh, and it had this nice little pin keeping its swaddling clothing together. I'll give it to my daughter Alette as a hairpin. Cobblestone is the most abundant resource in Minecraft, and you know what? I love it. I love unearthing it by the thousands, and I love implementing it into projects. I love crafting it into weapons and furniture. It's just good fun, and there's never a shortage of it after your first mining expedition. You can do so much with it. I mean, just look at this monstrous castle my friend made in survival mode. While he made that, I made some sort of pumpkin nightmare room. But that's just about all I can really say about cobblestone. So here's a tip. If you cook cobblestone in an oven, it'll become regular stone. Like with all Animal Crossing games, my city has been abandoned and overtaken by weeds and bamboo. But I do stop in every week for one thing, KK Slider's Masterful Music. But while I'm in the city, I do make a quick 8,100 bells. For those of you who don't know, once a day in Animal Crossing, one of the rocks in your towns becomes a money rock. Remember how Moses hit the rock and water came out? Well, it's like that, only with money. You see, if you know what you're doing, you can snatch up a fair amount of gold in Animal Crossing. All you do is set up a hole to the right and one right above the rock, and then you smack the rock. Okay, this one didn't have it. Neither did this one. Ah, here it is, the money rock. Yes, spew forth your bells. You can't get blood from a turnip, but you can to the fish. And sometimes instead of bells, it spits out ore, which you can hoard until retail has a special on ore, and then you can sell it to Reese at top dollar, which will get Cyrus to question her mercantile ability and economic decisions, which will cause a rift in their solid marriage, eventually leading to their divorce. Or, you know, you could get a golden bed, whichever makes you happy. I want a rock! So, that's the list. Pretty solid if you ask me. I'd even say that it really came together well. And Slay! Merry Hanukkah, everybody! Alright, so since you're here, thanks for watching that video. Yeah, I truly do appreciate it. I've got some more videos, as I mentioned in the beginning. I did some nitrous with the dentist, and some ideas came to mind. One of them was the top 10 cats that didn't seem as ridiculous as the top 10 rocks. So you can watch that if you'd like. You can also watch the Sapphire Alpha Nuzlocke thing. I'm doing that on my Let's Play channel. It's coming along quite nicely. Got some cool Pokemon. My most recent video was Yukinoko Burning. That's a completely Japanese text-based game. I only know English, so that was certainly an interesting experience. If you want kind of my take on it, they're like the only information that exists on Yukinoko Burning anywhere on the internet is that video, so give that a look. And finally, let's see, Animal Crossing made the #1 spot. Animal Crossing also got kind of a weird prominent spot on my top 10 soundtracks. I felt that one came together pretty well too, so, you know, check them out. Subscribe maybe. I plan to put more videos up here. I don't really have actually, I got plenty of ideas, but I don't want to tell you, so I'll pretend like I don't know what I'm going to make next. It's going to be a Soul Calibur video. Click on the annotation. I'll make it lead to it once it's done. Bye!
Smash!
Smash it!
Smash! Cravat!